All right, guys, we're gonna start in about 1 minute. Just want to remind everybody to make sure you got something to take notes and be in a quiet area. We're gonna kick off the call in about 1 minute, everybody. Okay, good morning, guys. We're about to kick off the call. I want to welcome everybody. Let me 1 second. Okay, perfect. All right, I was just giving Mr. Danny Bay the code to get in. All right, we're gonna get started. I want to say good morning, everybody. I know it's really early in the islands of Hawaii. I already see people on from Hawaii, 5 a.m. You guys are absolute champions. Here in the West Coast Pacific time, I know it's only 8 a.m. Good morning to all of you guys, and 10 a.m. Central time, and I guess it's early afternoon almost now in East Coast, 11 a.m. I want to welcome all of you guys and just say good morning / good afternoon. I'm so excited for all of you guys today because we're going to continue the series, Good Morning GPS, with our founder and chairman, Mr. Danny Bay. For the very first time, at the end of this call, Mr. Danny Bay is going to also take some Q&As for the leaders. So I'm excited for all of you guys to grow today. I'm excited for all of you to have a growth week actually this week as we continue the GPS Good Morning series. But I got to tell you, we're also blessed to be on this call today to start off the day with obviously our chairman and founder. So let's go out to Las Vegas, Nevada, and help me welcome now back to the United States, our chairman and founder, Mr. Danny Bay. Good morning. Thank you for being with us, sir.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? Good morning. I'm very excited to be on this call with everybody. Great to see everybody's faces. No better way to start today than seeing so many of your faces in the morning. And of course, Mr. David Nieves is already out and about. You know, he's already making it happen out there. And great seeing you, bro. We got to catch up today for sure. And you know, Mr. Michaelan, I know you're not doing you're mentally good, you're emotionally good, but I know physically fighting was something that it's unfortunate, and you're a true champion. I mean, you know, you guys got to give mad respect for, you know, Mr. Michaelan, you know, leading the leadership call for Influencer 500 and above last night, you know, starting the call this morning at Good Morning GPS this morning, you know, while he's, you know, fighting his recovery. He's a true champion, man. And you know, I found some articles about, you know, what helped with the condition. So I sent it to him, hoping that he would just see it in the morning, but I sent it to him around 3, but I think he kind of saw it right away, which I felt bad sending. But you're a champion, sir. You're gonna be all right, and we're all gonna be all right. And you know, it's you know, it's a more and more you know, I hear about so many people worldwide having so many difficult time, you know, during this season. You know, I think later today or tomorrow, I think I'm actually gonna do a video on Instagram and Facebook about you know, really how different it is on how we're kind of handling and dealing with what's going on with COVID-19 here in the States, as well as Korea. I'm not saying one way is better or other way. It's just, it's very different. And I think there's some tips that we can learn from how complete opposite cultures are kind of doing things. But regardless of all that, I think it's very important time, you know, for every single one of us to really understand that times like this are, you know, where the most amount of opportunities are created. Why? You know, a lot of people go, well, how come there's so much opportunities created in the midst of crisis? Well, the reason for that is, it's pretty simple. You know, opportunities happen when you provide a solution for a problem, or if you could provide many solutions for many problems. And obviously there's more problems out there in the marketplace right now than you know, we probably dealt with in our lifetime, right? And because of it, there's so many solutions to provide. Just think about it. How many of you personally know someone that have been impacted financially in a negative way because of what's going on with COVID-19? How many of you guys personally know somebody? You know, maybe they're small business owners. Maybe their company's been affected. You know, maybe you know, they work for a giant company who's been around for many decades, and they just filed for bankruptcy, or maybe they just laid off. A friend of mine in Korea, they had 1,400 employees last year, December. Because of what happened, now they're down to 6. They had to lay off 600 people, and now they're down to 800 people. You know, and you know, I live in Vegas, right? And now to be back here and last 3 days and hear so many stories of people, you know, they were in the show business and their shows completely stopped. You know, in 3 months of time, I just went and got a haircut with my son a couple of days ago, and she had to have her stores. I've been getting my haircut from her for 20 years, and she was telling me how her business had to stop for 7 weeks. And May 7th, they were notified they could reopen May 9th, but they had different restrictions where they had to put dividers and all these different things. A friend of mine who's in development and construction, you know, many years ago, a few years ago, they got fined for having people wear masks because they, you know, it's too hot in the, you know, obviously in Vegas during construction, and 2 people not wearing it, they got fined. You know, people wearing it, they actually got fined for making people wear masks because of the dust. And just last week, they had a fine for $5,500 because 2 people weren't wearing it. So, I mean, you know, all these changes of how world works, and a lot of people are facing challenges, which means if every single one of us could really focus on how opportunities are created, which is providing solutions for people. And, you know, I know at times like this, it's so easy to focus on ourselves, but if you could really open your eyes, you know, there's huge difference. You know, a lot of people ask me, how do you recruit good? How do you build a good team? How do you make sure that you build a powerful team? How do you develop leaders? A lot of people ask me, all the time, and I have many discussions with many people all the time. I think if you could just sum it up to, one answer to that is, to care for other people. If I'm recruiting, I'm seeing Mr. Thomas Berry right here. Good morning, sir. If I want to get Mr. Thomas Berry involved in the business, if I try to recruit him, for me, it's very difficult to do. I mean, it's very difficult to do. If I want to develop him to become a leader and win, for me, it's very difficult to do. But if I take me out of the picture in sharing the opportunity, and if I share the opportunity with Mr. Thomas Berry, not for me, but for him, because I really want to see him win. Because maybe, we've been friends, and maybe I know what's going on with his current, maybe traditional business. I'm just using this as an example. Maybe I know that I could provide a solution for his family and his business and for his life, to improve his life. Maybe I know that he's got unfulfilled dreams and goals, and I want to provide a solution to help him with it. And if my whole focus is on him as I share the opportunity with him, and once he gets started, I obviously had a lot of mentors through books and DVDs and seminars and events and such, but I could tell you one person I've spent almost 7 years with, I consider him my biggest mentor in my career, in my 20 years. And I got to actually spend, 2-3 days a week with him. I used to drive out to California. The whole saying about, when teachers appear when students are ready. Well, that's what happened for me with him. I used to drive out 4 hours every week to California, and I only built team in California because I wanted to spend a couple of days with them. And when I say a couple of days, it wasn't like 2 solid days. No, it was like he used to go to Starbucks at 6 a.m. every morning. I used to just go with him on that ride and pick up coffee and come back and spend that few minutes and obviously go out and be productive and, generate production. But, for years of spending time with him, he said, he completely had my thinking completely switched 180 degrees, complete paradigm shift. He said, when you focus on other people and when you recruit not for you, but for them, if you develop them, not for you, but for them, he said, if you stop and think about it, our whole industry, it's mathematically and it's logically impossible to not grow your business next month as you did last month. He said, it's actually impossible. Think about it. It doesn't make sense. Let's just say you had 10 people join your team this month. If your focus was helping those 10 people, if your focus was developing them 10 people, if your focus was making sure 10 of them, all 10 of them got their first check of their $100 LA bonus as a becoming influencer 100, or maybe helping them to earn their first monthly influencer level bonus and achieving influencer 500 in their first 30 days, for them to get their $500 check, or maybe for them to become influencer 1000 first 30 days so they could earn $1,000 MIL, $1,000 plus 250 plus 100 LA, so they could earn 2350 plus the GIM and other fast influencer promotion bonus. So literally making over $2,500 first month for becoming influencer 1000. Maybe that became your focus. If that became your focus, he said, how could you have 10 people join your team, or 100 people join your team, or 1,000 people join your team? All joined because they wanted to do something. All joined because they wanted to create results and improve their life. If you focus on them, how could you not have them at least get one? He said, nobody signed up to get one. He said, everybody joins so they could build a team of 10 and 100 and 1,000 and get hundreds of customers or thousands of customers, right? He said, but how could they get less than one? He said, one of the only ways to do that is to make sure that you continue to focus on you. He said, if you focus on you, I talk to leaders, even after you build a big team, somebody maybe had 100 influencers join their team that got customers last month. And I talk to them about next month production, and they go, well, you know, I'm gonna try to do a little more. Or you look at their last month and the month before production. Now, obviously with GPS, we're brand new. This is our very first month, so we don't have data to go off of. But you know, just even starting with pre-launch and the launch and looking at numbers, if your focus becomes every person that joins your team, for them to create their story, it's nearly impossible. It's logically impossible to really not grow your business week to week, month to month, if you focus on them. So our business is all about people. Before VR, before e-commerce, before EVP commerce, before e-learning, our business is all about people. And it doesn't matter if you introduced one person to the business so far or 100 people to the business so far. If you could focus on them for them to win. Now, let me jump on this and kind of talk to you a little bit about focusing on people. Is that all right? And we're going to have plenty of time. I'm going to open it up for questions in the next 6-7 minutes. And I want to encourage you to have some business questions, leadership questions prepared, and ask any question, and we'll discuss. You know, when I say focus on people and doing, focus on people and helping them to develop, here's the key. Now, Mr. David Nieves will probably be the perfect person to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. You know, obviously that somebody like Mr. David Nieves, if you haven't seen, just go check out his Instagram page and you'll see. You know, his physical status is better than Thor, if you could imagine that. Which takes a lot of discipline. And, you know, some kind of system. And now, here's the thing, okay? I've never looked like that ever in my life, okay? I'm sure many of you could agree. You never looked like that ever in your life. Mr. Thomas Beer laughing, you know, but I you know, but I heard you used to play football, so I'm sure you know. But you know, it's the key is, what if I wanted to have the results that Mr. David Nieves has been having for over a decade. I mean, I've known him for a long time. He's looking like that the whole time. It's ridiculous. But if I wanted to be as fit, if I wanted to be as in a good of a shape, you know, physically as Mr. David Nieves, if we woke up this morning and if we got together, what I would want to do, my regular habits, here's the key, what's comfortable for me, my ideas of living, my ideas of eating and doing things the way I like to do it. I could guarantee you it's going to be different than what will be comfortable for Mr. David Nieves, because obviously, because our results are different, which means if I wanted to be successful as him physically, I shouldn't, and if I've asked David to help me, right? It's different, right? Now, some of you had friendship with your people that became your influencers now. And here's the way I look at it. When somebody joins my business, when somebody becomes an influencer with me, they're telling me, hey, here, I'm signing up and I'm joining your team because I want you to take me to where I want to be. I want you to take me to get to where I want to go, right? I want you to take me to help me achieve my dreams and goals. If that's the case, if I ask David to help me, if I ask David to, hey, train me, help me to be physically, at the successful level that you're at, David should not care so much. What if I told David, I say, I think the perfect diet of the day is start off with Cinnabon, And lunch would be 5 guys, because I have 5 guy friends. So I have 5 friends. So 5 guys will be beautiful. And yeah, you know, tonight, you know, Pizza Hut, you know, they're a very successful business, you know, so they must know what they're doing. And, you know, it's hot, so let's go get some Cold Stone after. I mean, so like if that was my idea, you know, and as far as working out, he says, you got to do this. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. You know, and as I explain and I give reasons why I can't do it, if David buys into it, the reality is I'm never going to be successful, you know, physically, right? You know, I'm never going to have that type of results that he had. I mean, it's pretty common sense when you stop and think about it. So what I'm saying is, if Mr. Thomas Berry joins my team, if I truly care for him, and if I'm recruiting him for him, if I'm trying to help him for him, it is so important for you to master communication skills to make sure that you get Mr. Thomas Berry to do what he has to do to become successful. Not just listen to him for every feeling and every direction and every ideas that he has. Because he may say, dude, I can't get on a Zoom call. He may say that, dude, you know, I don't have time to watch that. He may say that, dude, you know, I just, you know, it's so crazy to me, man. I have someone, they were all excited about how, they were telling me how excited they were. They spent probably almost an hour explaining to me how excited they are about this opportunity starting. I'm probably spent an hour and talking about how like life, this, that, perfect timing, this was meant to be, and boom, like they spent at least an hour convincing me why this was the deal for them. They thought this person was going to sign up here. They thought this person was going to sign up here. And one of them didn't. And they're out of shape, and they're not even getting on Zoom calls. It hasn't even been a month. And they thought this person and this person would come in. And this person came, but this person didn't. And now, like, the whole world ended for them. They're upset at their sponsor for even telling them about the opportunity. Like, to me, that behavior is so ridiculous. Like, so ridiculous. Now, I'm not making fun of them. I'm not talking bad about them. What I'm saying is, if I am the sponsor, if David Nieves is my trainer, and if he cares about my success, and if he cares about me as a friend, and he remembers how excited I was when I said, dude, train me, help me, he better make sure that I don't act that fool. He better make sure that he has a straight up talk with me and make sure that I understand that my thinking's wrong. I understand that, hey, my direction, I'm looking at the wrong direction. I need to look at this direction. You know, if he's my trainer, if he's my leader, he needs to guide me and make sure that I do what I need to do. Does that make sense to you? See, that's different than, you know, just sometimes we sign somebody up and we help somebody get in the business and we just kind of listen to them. And I know we listen, we respect, but you got a guide. You know, the best trainers are people, trainers that when you said, dude, I can't do it no more. The best trainers are the ones that doesn't say, all right, stop it now. The best trainers are the ones that says, come on, just one more. As soon as you do one more, they got to say, come on, you got more in you, just one more. And as soon as you do one more, they said, no, you know you got more in you, just one more. You know, there's an old saying that whenever you feel like you gave your best, you're barely at 40% of it. The results are always in pushing to the next level. Results are always in getting them to do what's uncomfortable for them. You know, the results always show up in the uncomfort zone, not in the comfort zone. Getting results that you never had before, you got to get in uncomfort zone. And you, just like Les Brown said, you got to do the uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. And if you live in the comfort zone, I'm telling you, your life won't get better. And you know that for you, and you got to do that for others. And my job, whenever I work with, hey, I've been working with Mr. Michael on for over a decade, right? You know, many of my friends I've been working with for a long time. But I'm telling you, even my mentor, who I've spent 6-7 years with, Mr. Jerry, yes, he congratulated me. Yes, he made me feel good about who I am. But he never made me feel comfortable about where I was. Because, why? Because he wanted to challenge me. He wanted to stretch me. He wanted to push me to go to the next level. Why? Because he saw more in me. You know, you got to start seeing people for who they could become, not who they are today. You got to stop looking at people for who they were yesterday and who they are today. You got to start looking at them for who they could become. Yes, he congratulated me. Yes, he celebrated with me. But he challenged me and pushed me to go to the next level. When I thought I was thinking big, he made me think bigger. When I thought I was doing the best I can, he got me to do more. And I'm telling you, that is the reason why my thinking has stretched. That is the reason why my habits and my discipline have stretched and increased. That is the reason why when I generated my first $1 million in revenue, yes, I was happy. Yes, I was grateful. But immediately I moved my comfort zone to the next level where I wasn't at. So I got uncomfortable being where I was at. I had to move up to the next. And going to the next was go through an uncomfort zone. And once I achieved that, boom, I moved that up again. I moved it up again. And doing that for over 15 years of time is the reason why you can't go from one to 100 overnight. You got to grow a little bit at a time. And you do that for you, but you also got to do it for your people. You know, you got to ask yourself, on Good Morning GPS conference call. Today, we're going to have one every day this week. Since I'm in America, we're in the similar time zone. I wanted to support as much as I can. It's kind of hard to do this at this time when I'm in Korea because I'm at the office at like 9 a.m., but right now it's midnight there. I mean, even though the time is crazy, man. You know, I was up till 5:15 a.m. and I got up at 7 to get ready for this whole. The reason I was up till 5:15 a.m. is because Korea office and Japan office is up. And I gotta have a serious talk with God and see if he could kind of like make this thing flat or something. I don't know. You know, there are people out there still believe it's flat. I wish there was a case that everybody would have the same time zone, man. But anyways, I don't know. But sorry, I got distracted for a second. But my point is, we're gonna have one every day. But the question is, if you got 1 or 10 or 100 people in part of your team, next business opportunity meeting Zoom call, what are you gonna do to get them on? What are you gonna do to make sure they have somebody on there with them? What are you gonna do to make sure they're on the call with you tomorrow? You know, what are you gonna do to make sure that they're part of a training call? What are you going to do to make sure that they do activities today? You know, because today is the what? 29th, right? No, is it 30th already? Yeah, 29th, right? Yeah. So we got today and tomorrow, and month of June is over. You know, so you gotta, man, it's confusing because Korea and Japan is 30th right now. But you know, anyways. You got to make sure that they hit their Influencer 100 or 250 or 500, whatever it may be. Just remember, Influencer 500, all it is, Influencer 100, all it is one customer on the left, one customer on the right. Influencer 250 is 5 customers on the left, 5 customers on the right. Influencer 500 is simply 10 customers on the left, 10 customers on the right. And the fastest way to build that is complete step 1. Is go out there and find 4 business partners, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 on each side, and start driving your team. And you duplicate and repeat this step 1 over and over. And that's how you're gonna go Influencer 500, Influencer 1,000, Influencer 10,000. Some of you already saw. I mean, we've been around for 4 months. In America and Japan, less than a month. June 1st, we officially launched. We're just going into our first full month here. And we already have 3 influencer 25Ks between America and Japan already. And we only been around for 4 months in Korea. We already have one influencer 75K. And we already have multiple. I mean, just in America and Japan alone, we officially started in June. And this month alone, I believe we have close to 700 people that got promoted to influencer 100 or higher, receiving their first deposit or check. You know, and it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. I shared with the group a couple of days ago that tomorrow is the last day somebody could say, I joined GPS the very first month it started in America. They joined 2 days from now, they have to say that I joined month 2. They probably just won't tell people. They just probably say I was there kind of in the beginning. But you know, anybody that joins by till tomorrow, they have a story that they got started month 1. So the most important topic I want to share with you today is that do it for the people. That's the key. Recruit for them, not for you. Provide solution to people. That's how you have an opportunity. That's how you build your business big. And developing leadership is focused on that. I find it interesting whenever somebody says, I don't have anybody else to talk to. It's simply because they are not looking at their new influencers list as if it was their list. You know, if I got Mr. William Wood started today, if I got him started today, I don't help him to like he's just a partner. No, if I enrolled him today, I'm gonna build it like it's mine. I'm gonna build his list like it's mine. I'm gonna be involved in communication like it's, you know, I'm gonna make sure that he gets his first influencer 100, 250, and 500 and 1,000 promoted and done and get paid and create results like it's my position. So whenever I work with somebody, I look at their report. I communicate, and I really make sure that that person is positioned to win every step of the way. You know, his daily activities and his weekly production, his monthly production, his income. You know, people you're working with right now, you should know exactly how many BV they're away from getting promoted to the next level this month. If they're 1,000 short, we got to get those 2 customers today. If they're 5,000 short, we got to work today, tomorrow to get those 10 customers today. And if it means, if you want to get 10 customers, maybe it means we got to maybe make a list of 30 people and we got to call them up and do a Zoom 2-on-1 or 5-on-1 or 10-on-1, or maybe invite them over to a Zoom presentation, whatever it takes. I'm telling you, if you could just shift to start helping people, if you could just shift to do it for the people, it's going to make a night and day difference. So now we're going to open up the call. If you have any questions regarding, you know, the way you build business, if you got now, if anything to do with company updates tonight, tonight, I believe it's 9 p.m., right? 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're in Texas, 8 p.m., in Hawaii, 3 p.m., I guess. We're gonna have a full-on company update call. So we have a full update for you about so I know a lot of you already received your device, but I heard that there's a big batch going out today. Should be pretty much taking care of everybody. So, you know, all of those questions or updates are gonna be available tonight. So this morning, let's kind of focus on leadership and business development and customer acquisition. So it's okay. Any questions? I'm open. You know, so any questions you got,
Mr. Bay,
fire your way, and I'd love to answer.
Mr. Bay, David here. I thank you very much for doing this for us and for being with us here and taking 2 hours of sleep, man. It shows so much, man. I'm excited to be able to match that work ethic here within GPS. So a leadership question: where's the balance between people that you bring in that are come in at a 30% motivation, some come in at 50%, some come in at 100%, and where do you meet them at based on where they came in some people come in here with a big vision and excitement. Some people come in with a medium vision and excitement. And as a leader, where do you meet them? I think that's a good question that I would like to get. I would like to know your answer, and I know a lot of my leaders would do too, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I think obviously most important thing in the beginning is going to be kind of finding out their vision, right? Their why are they doing it? Are they doing it to make extra $1,000 a month? Are they doing it to make extra $10,000 a month? Are they doing it to really become one of the biggest leaders in the company? So I think that's going to determine, right? So so part of the launch process, and that's, I think, the reason why the reason why we should have launching conversation with them and kind of really find out why they are doing the business, and kind of find out. I call them the hot button. Anytime I want to work with that person, so like I used to do this a lot. Literally, if you just signed up in the team, and if I just met you, and if I went through the launching process with you and found out your goals and short-term goals and long-term goals, I would literally, in my phone, okay, I would actually, I actually would put David Nieves, and I'll write down your goals in the content. Because, every time I talk to you, I want to be reminded, and I wanted to bring up the conversation of why you're doing the business. So, so I'll put that in there. So I think that's number one, is kind of find out why they're doing it, how big they want it. And from there, whenever I find out why they're doing it, I always try to get their commitment. What I mean by that, if somebody says that, hey, I want to be able to make $5,000 a month in the next 90 days, or I want to be able to make $10,000 a month in the next 90 days or 6 months of time, and replace my current income from other jobs or careers or whatnot, I will say, okay, well, obviously we're going to start this part-time, but you agree that creating $5,000 or $10,000 income, creating that type of income, it's going to take some work. Would you agree with that? So I'm going to definitely have the conversation. I said, well, let's achieve that goal in 90 days because so we could invest more time, because they probably have a big long-term goal. So let's get that done in first 90 days. That way, let's achieve that 5 or 10,000 in first 90 days. That way we could commit more time and spend more energy, building this long-term. But, until then, until we could commit more time, hey, can you give yourself, and can you give me, can we commit, 15 to 20 hours a week? So whatever their goal size is. If somebody says, I want to make $500 a month, I'm not going to ask them 20 hours a week. But if somebody says, I want to make 5,000 or 10,000, I'm going to ask them at least 20 hours a week. It said, every day, here's what we're going to do. And we're going to spend, at least a couple hours a day doing this, 30 minutes inviting people to take a look at the opportunity, 30 minutes getting customers, demonstration and customers, to share the product with people to get customers. Spend at least 30 minutes a day communicating with, team, myself, and as your team grows, making sure that you're communicating with them. 30 minutes a day, personal development. So whenever I work with somebody part-time, I try to get them to commit to me at least 15 to 20 hours a week. And I make sure that those 2 hours a day, at least 5 days a week, 10 hours a week, are 30 minutes every day in inviting people to take a look at the opportunity. 30 minutes each day getting customers, 30 minutes each day personal development, 30 minutes each day in communication. So I get that commitment out of the way first. There's 10 hours, and rest of 5 to 10 hours should be events. If it's a BOM or a team event or Good Morning GPS, or, they could use this as a personal development. But, so I try to get time commitment out of them first. And if we haven't yet, and I'm not saying you haven't, I'm saying if other people haven't, you could relaunch anybody anytime and get that commitment and start game plan from there. So from there, then, then I drive and try to get, here's the way I look at it. A lot of people look at it a different way, Mr. David. I look at it like, if I sponsored you, sponsoring your very first person isn't up to you, it's up to me. So that I do it no matter what, because you haven't done it yet. You don't know it yet. So you don't have confidence in doing it yet. You don't know if it's going to work out yet. I've done it. So I'm going to drive and make sure that I help you to get at least your first recruit first influencer in your business right away. So I take that responsibility on me. So I take that first step. And from there, I you know, then, you know, we may, you know, give some task and say, hey, you do this and I'm going to do this. And like you said, you know, start that balanced relationship. You know, and as Mr. Jamron would say, and that's how I would do it. After doing that, I'll say, you take this one step, I'll take 2 steps. I'll always do more than them, but I will get them to do a little bit. You know, so to, and you got to sort, right? You can't do that with 10,000 people. You simply don't have enough time to do it. And once the team grows, Mr. David, you're already master at this. You're the absolute, you know, you're a master at this. You know, you create a culture where you teach people how to deserve your time, not demand your time. You know, Mr. Jamron said, hey, life doesn't respond to need. You know, life responds to deserve, and you teach people how to deserve your time. But in doing that, you got to sort. And in sorting, you know, after I got the first recruit and we have a couple of different things going, I'm going to give you a small task. You know, I'm going to, hey, David, call me tonight at 5 o'clock. And say, hey, can you check and see how many people you had on the call and let me know right after the call? Hey, let me know what they said. You know, so these are very simple tasks. Now, these are things that doesn't require skills. It doesn't require a lot of experience. It's just, it checks their heart. You know what I'm saying? It checks their commitment level. It checks their, and those little things is what gets me to go, okay, you know what? He's a person that I should be investing more time. She's a person that I should be spending more time with. So those little things is how I kind of test. And I know I don't drop anybody, but you know, for the masses, 80% of them, I got to spend time with them as a group, right? But you know, it's the 20% that I'm going to spend time individually, making sure that I text every day, I call every day, that I give task every day, I shout out and recognize every day. You know, so I mean, you're already master of it. I know you're mainly asking the question for everybody on the call. I know, you know, topics like this, we could probably talk about it for hours if we're all physically together, but hopefully that helps, you know, gives you a little bit of idea. Get there, figure out their, you know, goals, short-term and long-term, and get their time commitment first in the beginning. If you don't get it in the beginning, or if you haven't, relaunch it and get it. If you haven't got their time commitment, it's hard to ask them to do anything, you know. So get their time commitment first. And after that, you know, make sure that, you know, you get their first recruit first. You got to drive in, you got to continue the business. One of my mentors taught me, them not getting their recruit. If an influencer, business partner stop working, could be their decision. But if your leg or your team stops working, that's your fault, because you didn't drive one-to-one to continue. You know, so after that, give small tasks and have them prove to you that they deserve your attention. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Somebody was asking a question on the on a chat here. All right, let's see. Let me look through here. It would be better if you could ask in with voice, because that shirt is fire. We'll try to get some here. Okay. All right. Okay, that was good. You gotta start seeing people. Yes. Let's see. What is the exact date from pre-launch did that first month end? I'm trying to figure out from what date in June till the end of June do I use to calculate their BV. So actually, if you go to your back office, it's gonna show the BV that shows under genealogy should be the BV in this pay cycle. So it should have started June 9th. You know, June 8th was our first commission run close to make sure that we got people paid in sooner than waiting until at the end of July. So, you know, so that's why we kind of had a unique dates there. Yes, so it should have started June 9th. And if you go to Sani, yeah, if you go to the back office and take a look at the genealogy, the BV that you will see on their left and right persons, it should be this month cycle that they're currently at. I need to know if this device can be used in countries where GPS hasn't been launched yet. I have some friends from Africa. Well, device is just like computer, device is just like phone. You know, if you got it, as long as you have access to the internet, Wi-Fi, yes, you could use it anywhere. With how many people from your team you work closely every day. When I was just in the field working with people, I usually work with between 20 to 50 people at a time. But I try to get at least, minimum. Now, when I say work with people, at least me personally communicating and texting or calling daily will be 20 to 50, but minimum of 12. But people that I spend a lot of time with are usually it's half a dozen, 5, 6 people that I spend a lot of time with and really mentoring. And the key is you cycle that, so how I usually do it is it's a 90-day process. Like I spend a lot of time with somebody, boom, 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 develop them. In 90 days, they should be doing that with some people. So I still talk to them all the time, but it's not going to be like me spending an hour, a couple hours a day with them, doing a lot of their meetings with them every day, So I tell people, especially leadership talk, as your team grows, I know we're all just getting started. This is our very first one. As your team grows, I especially at the higher level, at GPS, it'll be more like, whenever people are at Influencer 10K or 50K, a lot of times, if they want to grow their business, this is the conversation I'm going to have with them. All right, take a list of the people you're spending personal time with 90 days ago. And I'll ask them, list up the people that you're spending personal time with today. If that list look exactly the same, your business is probably not going to be growing. So you got to make sure that good percentage of that list has some new people in it, and you continue to develop. So before we end the call, I was just going through the.
Hey, Mr. Bay.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, I have a question. This is Thomas Berry. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Just like David said, all you do, man, you're a true champion. Definitely want to keep up with the work ethic. I guess give your feedback on how important the 3-way call is after you help your people that you help get people on the Zoom. You help them get them on the Zoom, and then normally after the Zoom, they're going to call those brand new people back to ask a bunch of questions. So how important it is for them to loop that back so the expert can answer the questions and help them enroll, and they know what role we all play.
Yeah, well, I think it's extremely important, right? In person, let's just, all we're doing with Zoom should be very similar to how we've done it offline, but just being more effective because we don't have to drive an hour or 20 minutes, or 30 minutes to get together, right? So, so that's such a great question, Mr. Thomas Berry. I believe everything we do, there's during and there's before and there's after. And if you ask me, what's the most important part? I always tell people, okay, before always makes the rest of the job easier. So before is extremely important. As an example, if there's a presentation, before the presentation, proper invitation is going to get them in the right mindset to take a look at the presentation with a little more open mind. So, but after, what's the second most important out of the 3 is the after. Why? Because after the presentation, I did so many research and checked with so many people to find out how many people. Mr. Thomas Berry, we used to have these meetings. We will literally have a registration of every guest that came to the meeting. And Mr. Michaelani is absolutely the best at this. We used to just once a week, we used to just call them. We throughout the whole week, if we had a guest of 200 people, 400 people, we used to just call them and go, hey, you know what? We saw that you visited one of our presentations this week. I just wanted to, we're just taking a survey or trying to get your feedback on, what you liked about it, what you not liked about it. And, did you decide to join us or did you, decide to become a customer or not join us? We just wanted to kind of keep track of what was going on. And hey, just tell us anything good or bad. We would love to hear your feedback. We used to do it, right? And Mr. Thomas Berry, you would not believe how many people wanted to join after the presentation, but the person who brought them never brought up the question of, hey, are you ready to get started? And because of it, they wanted to do it. They saw it, they liked it. They maybe had a question or two because they wanted to understand something, but you know, as a new person, it's kind of hard to bring up the question, hey, are you ready to get started? Let's do this. Welcome to the team. Welcome aboard. You know, let's do this thing together. It's hard to have that conversation. So because of it, you know, like, I think the percentage, I mean, there were weeks where almost 20 to 30% of signups that week happened because we just made that call. You know, so I think after the presentation, if you had a guest, and if you're not comfortable, we call them opening or closing, whatever you want to call it, after the presentation to help them make the decision and enroll them into the opportunity. If you're not comfortable doing that yet, I would highly recommend that do either three-way call on a one-on-one call or two-on-one call. If you had maybe 5 or 10 guests, maybe do a group call of, you know, small groups of 2 or 3 or 5, but you know, just, you got to make sure that that happens right away. If it happens next day, if it happens a couple of days later, excitement is gone, you know, fear is high, and, you know, they don't even remember what they were thinking about. So I agree with Mr. Thomas Berry. Right after, best time to do it is right after the presentation, but, you know, make sure you schedule it, right? So if I was in Thomas Berry's team, if I got a guest coming to a presentation tonight on Zoom, I'm going to tell him in advance. I'm going to say, Mr. Berry, I have this person coming. His name is David. You know, he's going to be on the call with me. His background is his, you know, this, he works for this corporation. He does this, you know, and I have him on. If he's, you know, after the call, do you mind spending a couple minutes with him? You know, and I'll schedule with Mr. Berry so he knows what to expect. As soon as it's done, boom, I will connect him and help Mr. Berry to help me, you know, help that person get started. So it's extremely important. I will highly recommend doing it that way, for sure.
Go ahead, baby.
Danny Bay, you got a minute?
Yep. Hey, maybe one more question. I know we could do this all day, but hey,
Okay.
Mr. Nissim, yes, we're going to be doing this tomorrow too, and maybe we'll spend more time doing questions tomorrow. But Mr. Nissim, go
I'll
ahead.
make it real quick. If you sign up somebody today, which is the 30th, and they want to sign up with a whole package, when do they get charged for the VLU again? In 2 more days, they'll be charged all over again. So should they wait till next month?
No. Yeah. So as far as the VLU goes, even everybody that signed up during pre-launch, right? We're not. Nobody's gonna pay for their subscription until they've had the device for over a month. So, you know, after they physically receive the device and actually use it for a month, they're not going to be charged. So as an example, if somebody signed up today and if they got their device, let's just say, you know, second week of July, you know, like, let's just say they got it in 10 days. Well, they're not going to be charged until, you know, August, second week or later in the month of August. So, yeah, so it's, so, you know, we monitor that. Our corporate team monitors that. Obviously, we went through the same cycle in Korea, and I could tell you with, you know, over 20,000 influencers joining and getting customers, we haven't had one person that we overcharged by them having less than a month to use it. Yep, thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna go through what's in the chat room and we'll continue more Q&A tomorrow, all right? Thank you. GPS 200K. Question, do we get 10% for the sale of the Pico if we sell it to others? No, so each product is gonna have, each product has influencer marketing commission percentage assigned. So Pico itself is 1%, VRLU is 2%. That's mainly the personal influencer marketing commission. Is mainly designed for, you know, a lot of the commerce products we're gonna have. So in Korea, as you know, we started commerce products 6 weeks ago, and we already have products that are 10% influencer marketing commission. Some are 5%, some are 2%. Matter of fact, we actually have one that was even higher than 10%. So, you know, it all depends on the product. I'm just gonna hear Amber says, how do you go about recruiting someone that really needs this and some family is in a wheelchair? However, timing may be off as their family member is in a hospital and may pass. Do you just give them time to reset and focus or push everything aside for it? Or really would love to get them under the top for a position, asking as we have our, Okay, so Amber, I think it really depends on the time. I mean, it's kind of hard to say because, some people at a situation like that, they want to get something started to provide solution right away or work on something right away. Some people don't. So it really depends on how they are, and and I'm sorry to hear about your friend in the hospital, and it's our friend's family. It's just, I think, it's recruiting is, I mean, you do it for them, but at the end of the day, it's got to be their time and it's got to be their decision. Can VRLO be viewed on desktop if you have people who only sign up as a VRLO customer? No, they have to have a Pico VR device. It's kind of like, it's like back in the days, Nokia content only were available on Nokia. BlackBerry contents are only available on BlackBerry. Right now, iPhone is only available on iOS. And Android, Android was created to kind of connect everything together for non-iOS devices. So, it depends on what is developed for. Our VRLO currently is developed for Pico device, so they're going to need Pico device to watch it. All right, so hey, let's try to keep a lot of questions for tomorrow because we do not want to keep everybody else on the call all day. So we will continue this tomorrow, but I think these chats are going to be gone. So I'm just going to try to just finish what's in the chat room. So please don't add any more questions to the chat room. Since Katie is extremely busy. Yes, just email. We just added even some more customer service agents that's helping out. So email to support at the GPS email, and we will make sure that we get through all of them and respond to you this week. Yes. Oh, I see Katie, hi. It's Pico waterproof, and does it fry your brain or eyes if it touches water while using it if it rains? Had a customer ask that. Bruce, I don't think it's waterproof. It's a computer system. It's if you put it underwater, I'm sure it's gonna have some issues. So. Yep, and they should not, nope, they should, just because they're watching under the water content, they should not do that in a bathtub. No, they should definitely do it where it's dry. Any information on our augmented reality device and or software? Elliot, that's a great question. I cannot tell you much more. I do have a prototype right there in my other room right now. I'm meeting with VRLO developers today at 3 o'clock. We're doing, this is the 4th prototype I'm looking at, which we're very excited about. So it's coming. There's a lot of going on behind the scene. When we start adding AR to our VRLO experience as well as our EVP commerce, it's gonna change the world. What we're doing right now is setting up the foundation to get our opportunity and our team and ourselves really ready for that explosive growth. I know it's gonna go crazy. So is there an easier way to contact the person who does VRLO in USA? You know what? They are extremely busy. They are filming every day. They got they got a lot going on right now. So I'll just be a little patient. If you guys reached out to VRLO or GPS corporate team, we have a lot going on right now, as you could imagine, and they will get back to you as soon as they can. All right. So thank you, Mario. Thank you, Bishop, and appreciate everybody. Okay. So tomorrow we will continue. Tonight, at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. Texas time. If you are in Salt Lake or I guess Arizona too, I guess 7 p.m. I'm not sure, but you know what I'm saying. 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll hear you on a company update call. Myself and Katie and many of the leaders will be on there. Have a great day, everybody. We'll do this again tomorrow morning. Get your questions prepared. We'll spend more time doing question and answer tomorrow. All right, God bless. Talk to you later.
All right, God bless.
Thank you.